Hi, love. Hi, hello, and welcome to Co-Creative Healing Journey. My name is Greta. I am a healer, and today is the 1111 gate. So happy 1111 gate, or whenever you are watching this, whenever you align with this energy, because all of these readings really are timeless, because energy is. So, however, we are in the 1111 energy, and 1111 is a numerological event, and it happens on November 11th. And it really is this time when we are looking at the energies of master number 11. And in the 1111 aspect, there is a balance, there is an alignment between higher dimensions and lower dimensions, as above, so below. So, in general, this 1111 energy, as I experience it, perceive it, is very much about the balance between higher and lower realms and energies seeking to uphold, maintain, recreate, create that balance depending on where we are individually in our lives. So, at a collective energy, at a collective level, it is about the balance between higher and lower realms, as above, so below. And then for each and every single one of us, how that unfolds is going to be different because we are more or less aligned. So, that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. Spirit has messages for you about the 1111 in the year 2023. But of course, whenever you're watching it and whenever this applies. So, I have here the Crystal Mandala deck, and I'm going to draw some cards. I just want to mention that we have a new moon in Scorpio on the 13th, so a couple of days after this gate. And that new moon is really intense and very, very powerful. And it is a new moon in Scorpio, and we just ended the bigger cycle of eclipse energies in Scorpio and Taurus. And so that new moon is very, very, very loaded with a lot of energy. And it's so interesting that it's a new moon, that we're culminating the cycle by activating new potentials and new perspectives. But in order to get there, we have to go through the Scorpio energy. So there's a lot of wading through dark things, broken things, hurtful things in the dark side of the moon, the shadow where we are right now as I am recording this. And boy, have I been feeling that work for the last week or so. So, in general, it might feel like this 1111 gate is more powerful than it has been in previous years, and that would certainly be one element to it. So, let's get right to it. Let's see what Spirit wants to talk about. This energy of the 1111 gate, what is it bringing to us collectively, right? And then we will look at how we can live it individually, get advice, outcomes, all that good stuff, right? So let's start with this. We have got acceptance, archangel, Ariel and pink calcite. Okay, I see Spirit is actually kind of mixing it all together, which is perfect. This is the messages. I'm just passing the mic, right? Archangel Gabriel and turquoise, safe to be seen. We have got Archangel Adnakiel and Tiger's Eye, Tiger Spirit Rises. And the third one, we have got Ascended Master Hilarion and Green Chrysophrase. So in this deck, the turquoise suit with the borders here and the Ascended Masters, they're very much about spiritual growth, spiritual evolution, developing spiritual power. And all these pink cards are about healing. So there's a lot of healing that creates the spiritual power of discernment, which is so important in these times, and we will talk about that. So let's break it down. First and foremost, Spirit said, look, this is the message that has been resounding through the ether so powerfully the last couple of days, and it's acceptance. And there's a message that the world as you have known it is over. It doesn't exist anymore energetically. Obviously, it's still here, right? But energetically speaking, we have shifted from one era of energy into the next one with this 1111 gate. When we are talking about as above, so below, the higher realities, the spiritual reality, so much more elevated, so much more brilliant, true, aligned with the true spirit and essence of life than what we experience here on lower levels. And it's just always been that way for, again, eons and era, however long, even at a soul level, we're used to that. But that is no longer the case. And there is the need for us to consciously be accepting that. Because when we're shifting from one age of energy to the next, then things don't unfold in the same way. We are literally shifting from one causality into the next. And when you're seeing this pink calcite energy, which I actually am wearing today. Okay, I'll explain that. This is pink calcite, I believe, but it would be kind of the same, right? So the point is that things don't happen in the same way. So today I took out the storage where I have my crystals, and including this necklace, and I sent the whole thing flying. And I had to pick them up. So I picked up all my crystals and my rocks and I wiped them down. And it just felt like such a thing to do. And I cleaned. It became like a whole New Year's ritual. But cleaning off old energy. I also like cut my nails. I cut my hair in the last kind of week. It just felt like it's something that I do when I'm renewing energy. So we were in that space of renewing energy. And then this necklace had actually broken, and the stone had come off, and I thought that that was it. I thought that was the end, and actually I fixed it. So I put it back on, and again I cleaned it, and I knew, okay, I'm gonna wear this in the video. And it's that kind of energy. It's like there's a causality, and believe me, with the last couple of years of my life, when this broke, it would have been it, right? But now I can fix it. I can put it back on. There's a different way in which things can happen, and that requires acceptance, because that is not at all an easy thing to do, an easy thing to live. We're done with this one. Let's move on to the next one. We had Safe to Be Seen, because there's a new era that is calling on you who are watching this. There's a new era that is calling on you to step up, show up, to have a much more visible position of leadership, of presence, of participation, of sharing what it is that you know, that you own, that you are capable of, your own unique talents, gifts, skills, abilities, your wacky ideas, your smart ideas, your wise ideas, your perspective, your own unique energy. It is now time. This new era is calling on you to bring that out, to put that forward, but it requires the acceptance. It requires you to know and realize, okay, the old times is gone, and so whatever it is that I have, whatever it is that I'm about, whatever it is that I bring forward, we even have number 11, there we go. Whatever it is that I am here to embody, to share, to express, to become, to experience, to try, to create, to explore, to discover, to renew, to end, and so on and so forth. Whatever that is, this is it. This is my time. It has come, and there's an acceptance there. And it's very important to have that acceptance, because when you look at the surface, you might not see it, and that's also what the discernment is speaking to. But before we get to the discernment, Spirit is saying there's something else that you can notice. There's something else that you can see. There's something else that you can discern, in a sense, notice within you. And that is a whole new energy rising, or rather it's the same energy, the same passion behind this gift, this talent, this skill, this idea, this project that you already have. It's just a lot more powerful, purposeful, and a lot more functional, in the sense that it's a lot more aware of its own function in the world. You've been preparing these past few weeks and months to really understand where you fit in the grander scheme of things, and that energy is like it's programmed with that knowledge. So the way that the energy is showing up now is not just to do the same old, it's to show up and fit here. It's to show up and deal with this need, and to provide for that, and to speak to this community. There is a way in which things have been, getting programmed, getting activated, getting knowledgeable, clearer, more discerning, truer, and truer of itself, like knowing its own truth, you knowing your own truth. But the energy inside you is also knowing the own truth of what it's for, and where it wants to go, and what it wants to do, who it is, right? Always the question, who am I? Who am I? Well, we're life, right? Life, that's an answer. And in the same way, it's the life within you that's getting a lot clearer about where it wants to go. And that life is pure creative energy. Again, tiger spirit, spiritual energy rising up and knowing so much more what it is, and what it's about, what it's for, where it wants to go, who it wants to go to, who it wants to serve, why it exists, and so on and so forth. Mwah. That is just beautiful energy, and that's the discernment. And now we get a 22. So master number 22, we go from master number 11, it's my time to step forward, and master number 22, discernment. So I know how to make it happen. You're going to start discerning a road and a path. When something is your function, that means that the world is in reception and in co-creative partnership with you to make it happen. Meaning there's tons of people in this world who do things that they are not initiated for, and that can be very troublesome, and it can really lead to a lot of energetic blowback, actually also tragedy, where things just don't go well. Well, you're not supposed to be there. That's not your function. That's not your thing. But you who have been watching this, you've been through this process. So you've been preparing yourself and you've been initiating yourself. And that's also what the discernment is speaking to. There is a function, there is a space in the world, which is like in a puzzle piece, there is a hole with a very specific shape. And that's where your piece goes. That's where maybe this project goes. And then that project goes into another space and so on and so forth. So there can also be some spirit saying play some game at that level, right? You don't have to be one thing for the rest of your life. Maybe you'll be this thing this year and that thing another year, or this thing in this area with this business aspect, and then that other business aspect is a different function, and so on and so forth. So there's room for it to play. It's not a prison. It's not a you have got to do this, right? But it's a space in which the world is waiting for you, and it wants to invite you and wants to receive you, and it wants to celebrate you, and it wants to enjoy you, and it wants you to function for it just as much as it is going to function for you. In biblical speech, it's often called the space of provision, that where God has provided for you is that space of provision. It would be the same kind of notion that there is a function that we all have. We have our calling, what speaks to us, what calls us into the world. We have our service, the ways in which we bring improvement. We have our life purpose. We have all of these different things at different levels, right? And different facets of the same thing. And function is a very, very important aspect, and it's so important that we now need to be discerning it so much more clearly. As above, so below. Every star in the sky has its function, it has its place, and it doesn't try to shine in another place. It doesn't try to be anything that it's not. And it's very important that we also start to discern that at lower levels. Just because I can do something doesn't mean that I should. Just because the technology is there, the possibility is there, the funds are there, the audience is there, whatever it is, just because I can doesn't mean I should. And that's the discernment. So on the one hand, it is to turn away things that are not my function. I'm not here to serve that. And if I start serving that in that space where it is not my function, there will be consequences, and it will damage my own alignment. But if I say yes to my function, and if I can discern what that function is, and where I can bring the most and share the most, and where the world really wants me and needs me and is inviting me to, and I step into that space and shine, that's just, there are no words for it. It's miraculous, actually, in this day and age, on planet Earth as we're currently living. Absolutely, it's miraculous. But it also is going to be very blessed. It's going to be very prosperous, very auspicious. And it's also just going to feel so right, so rewarding, so fulfilling, so true, so resonant, and so on and so forth, right? And feel free to add whatever you are looking for, whatever you're moving towards. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be adventurous. It's going to be classy. It's going to be fun. It's going to be easy, and so on and so forth. It really is that space where you're being called. And so many of us have been. I accidentally just, I was going to start going deeper into that. And then I accidentally pressed stop. And that's not the function. That's not the space. That was going to be a tangent. I do this sometimes. That's not the function. That's not the way. And so again, there's a different causality, right? And in my old causality also, if this would happen, video's ruined. Oh my God, typical. This. Here it's part of the message. It's part of how things are supposed to unfold, because everything is unfolding for the greater manifestation. You're watching this, right? We made it. And so. Advice for these times. Spirit is saying these are not easy times. These are not easy times. Do you? Absolutely. Always. Always. That's why it's not directly one of the advice. But these are not easy times at all. So Spirit is going to be with you every single step of the way. We have Ascended Master Serapis Bey and Clear Calcite with Karmic Grace. And yes, we have got Melt into Divine Desire by Goddess Pele and lava stone, and these two showing up together. That's a sweet, sweet message. Loving it. And also kind of loving the coloring, how they're very like ice and fire and yeah, ice and fire, and just very even masculine, feminine. There's just as above, so below. There's just a lot of that really beautiful energy of complementarity going around. But advice to number one, karmic grace. And karmic grace is a card that talks about learning the lessons and how really learning certain lessons is a blessing. And so Spirit is saying the advice is really think about the times that you've been through, and you can think about this time and this journey of initiation that you have been on in order to fulfill this function. And so that could be weeks, that could be months, that could be years, but you can look back on the different lessons along the way and see what it is that you're being called to. It's going to tell you more about your function. It's going to help you also to discern what's there, what's not there. If have you had a lot of lessons, for example, about truthfulness, about being very authentic and having a lot of integrity? Well, you're going to need authenticity, you're going to need integrity. So if there's two jobs and then one job is kind of there's no oversight, you can just do whatever you want, but then create really amazing things. But if you screw up, you're going to jail, for example. And then there's another job where there's a total amount of scrutiny and so on, but you can't really do great things. Then you are prepared for that greater job because you will have integrity, you will have authenticity, you will be doing something really great, and you have the ability to keep yourself safe so that you're not tempted or led astray. And I actually am thinking, do I share it? Yeah, I saw the story about a woman who was a community organizer, an African American community organizer in America. And the FBI has this history for decades of interrupting or working against people who do that kind of work, right? And so this is a true story. It was in this, there was a trial and everything, all of this stuff came out. But basically, there was an FBI agent who went undercover, started dating her, and then entrapped her to start stealing money that he started telling her that he needed money and he needed help to her to help him if she loved him, all that stuff. So she stole money to help him, and then he arrested her for it, and that's entrapment, right? So that's also why it became a bigger case. But the point is, she was on a good path, she was doing the right things, but then something comes along and it trips her up, and it's a temptation, and it comes again from a loving space. She wants to help her boyfriend, she loves him, she cares about him, right? All of these things, they work on us, and the world works on us. And yes, it is safe for you to be seen, to step into that space because you've learned the lessons. So learn from the lessons, look to the lessons that you've been through to tell you about how to navigate the space, what space it is, how to navigate it, what to do, what not to do, based on the lessons that you've learned. They were not spirit tormenting you just for kicks. You were being taught, you were being shaped, you were being formed, you were undergoing initiation. And that's what is making you ready for where you are now. So don't discount those lessons. Oh, every person I've been dealing with for years has been lying, trifling, they're no good. Now it's a new cycle. Oh, let me trust this person blindly. No, that's not how it's supposed to work. It is, yes, new cycle, new energy. Let me see what these people are. But I've learned that people can do certain things. So let me keep an eye out. As much as I'm open and trusting, I'm also going to be wise on the basis of what I've gone through. And that's what Spirit really wants you to know. And this 1111 energy, I see it like it's coming into you to like fortify you and come like into your DNA, into a space, into your embodiment, that you give yourself permission to embody the lessons that you've been through. Give yourself permission to embody that wisdom, to know that I am wiser now, I'm stronger now, I'm truer now, I am clearer now about who I am. I'm much more discerning about who I am and what I am intended to do on the basis of what I've been through. Meaning also, you're not intended to be discerning about stuff that has nothing to do with you. If you really can't discern it, if you really don't understand it, if you really don't get it, if it really doesn't speak to you, then it's not for you. And that's also part of the protection, and it's part of the guidance, and it's part, as Spirit says, it's part of the system. It's part of how it is intended to work. So now, second bit of advice, we've got melt into divine desire. Not just any desire, divine desire. I love that. Spirit wants this for you. The whole universe wants this for you. Okay, this, we're in destined energy, even fated energy, but definitely in that alignment. and in the function, in where you belong and where you're supposed to be, right? There's a circle here, and that's lava. And lava is volcanic soil, is the most fertile soil in the world, or at least one of them. So we have here this incredible symbol of fertility, and then we have all of these layers. There's protection here, there's light, there's energy, there's passion, there's drive, there is purpose, there's clarity, fulfillment, abundance. Again, all of those things that you would want to have, and also that you would need to be who you're intended to be, do what you're intended to do, create what you're intended to create, and so on and so forth. You would need those things to be there, and there's a space, there's a place. This is something the spirit wants for you. What you want wants you. Spirit wants you to have it. Even the divine desire is talking about you, your heart, your true will, your true being. Your divine desire is to manifest it, is to experience it, is to be it, is to go there, and so on and so forth, is to create that and experience that. And so all of the forces, all of those energies are converging together, and they're, conspiring together, working together to help you have the experience, the creation, and so on and so forth. So this is kind of talking about, as much as you can know, you've grown and you've evolved, which is also the convergence, right? You've grown and you've evolved into it, and the whole universe is working for you to have it, for you to be it, for you to create it, and so on and so forth. As above, so below. Below, you learned your lessons. Above, the universe wants you to have it. They work together. There's the alignment, and that alignment is now. The 1111 gate brought that alignment. This is the new reality. This is the new world, Spirit is saying. It's the brave new world. It's the new space for you to enter into, to thrive in, to get comfortable, get your shoes up on the table, right? Let loose, unfold, and of course in ways that are true to you and that serve you. This is it. This is time. Just because it happened one way before doesn't mean it's gonna necessarily happen in another way. It's a new causality. It's a new way forward. And so I'm going to leave it at that, because there are going to be other videos coming up on the channel where we're going to talk about it. This new moon energy is very much about building up that flow and the momentum and moving with this kind of shift in causality, this shift in energy. So I will leave it for that, at that for now. I am sending you lots of love, wishing you all the best in this energy. Yay, you made it. High five. Celebrate you, be good to you, appreciate you, really focus, consider everything that you've learned in the time that you've been walking on this path, because it is really, really going to serve you. So have it very close to your perception, have it close to your knowledge. Oh yeah, I got more confident. Oh yeah, I got super wise about this. So know that, so that when things come, you can just pull on that immediately. My love, that was the message. Sending you lots of love, wishing all the best. May you be blessed always and in always. And I will be seeing you around the channel. Bye.